Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to our Johnstown, Pennsylvania RC Club. In this video, we're going to show you how to safely dispose of your bad LiPo batteries, and we'll get to that right now. So as a quick overview here, what I'm going to do is take these alligator clips and solder them to this light bulb socket in between here in the wires. I'll use this jigs up jig to do that, soldering iron and solder, and then I'll use my multimeter to test and make sure that I do everything correctly. And this will discharge the battery over 24 hours with a 12-volt automotive battery safely in a bucket of sand. So let's go. What I'm going to do here is to take this subject, our battery pack, that has gone bad and it's swollen, and I'm going to dispose of this safely through this process. And what I'll do is I've already discharged this as much as I can through my normal charger, and what I'm going to do here is to cut these leads off here with my cutters, but I won't cut them off at the same time. I'll do them one at a time. If I do both at the same time, I'll get a shocking experience out of that, I'm sure. And what I'm doing is using a light bulb to do the discharge, to drain the battery down. And this is a light bulb socket that I extracted from an old trailer light. It's an incandescent bulb. Everybody likes LED lights in the trailer lights these days, so I can get lots of these for free, it seems like, and you probably can too, or even just any junkyard around. And what I'll do is put these alligator clips, I'm going to solder these wires together using the soldering gun here to put these clips on so I can drain these, or drain the battery. And part of the process here, I'll use this clip here, this it's a jigs up jig to help hold wires while you do soldering and so forth, and other uses for in doing connectors on RC batteries. I picked up a couple pairs of these alligator clips that are fully kind of enclosed almost all the way to the tip with a rubber cap. And I got those at Harbor Freight. They're part number 66712, and they were only like $2.99. Now for stripping the wires, I used a vice grip stripper that you put your wire in, squeeze it, pull it, and it strips the wire off for you automatically. It doesn't have to know what gauge wire you're doing, only you may set as to how long or length do you want to strip the wire to. And of course the side cutters for cutting these wires off the battery. So what I'll do next is to get these soldered up and using this gun. And then for all these parts and everything I have here, I'll list resources to those in the description below. So if you want to get these, you can find them in the description below. Okay, so I'm going to change my camera view here to give you a better view, closer up view, as I solder these together to make this thing to drain the battery. And then as I connect this to the battery, what I'll be doing with that when I do connect it to the battery to drain it further is I'm going to be putting it in a bucket of sand and with a lid on it, and then I'll set it outside and let it sit for 24 hours. And if the light bulb is out, no longer lit, after 24 hours, then it should be perfectly drained. But just to go a step further, as per the instructions, I will connect the negative and the positive connectors together as they're, so they can't build up a charge again. So Okay, so now I'm ready. My soldering iron is heated up. I've got one of these Ryobi portable ones with a battery. And what I'm going to do is clean the tip here a little bit in this, what they call, looks like metal shaving. Get that cleaned up. And what I want to do first is to tin the wires I'm going to solder together. Now usually on vehicles or trailers, the brown wire is the hot wire and the red wire is the hot wire coming off of this clip. Just kind of makes sense. So what I'm going to do is tin both of these, and then once they're tinned, I'll get them turned back into each other so I can solder them together. Get this in a better position here and hopefully get a good view. Okay, so I'm going to tin these by that makes it easier for them to solder together as once they're tinned. So, and then I'll do this for both the wires. The yellow one I'll connect to the black one. So then I'll turn this. I'll take the soldering iron, and we'll solder this together. Okay. Doesn't take very long for that to cool, and it's got a good grip and it's strong. And what we can do is slip the shrink tube back up here, cover that exposed wire. Okay, get a lighter here just to warm up this and shrink it. Doesn't take much, and that's shrunk. If you do it too much, it's going to become bare again and be exposed. You don't want to do that. Now I'll go on and get the negative onto this yellow one. Same process. Great. So now we have a light bulb connected to these two alligator clips that we can use for discharging this battery. So what I will do next is to turn off my soldering iron, to this aside, get my bucket of sand up here. It's a heavy one. This is just play sand that you can get at just about any store. And what I do is dig out a hole in here, kind of like I got there already. A little bit wet here yet. I'm going to cut these wire ends one at a time so I don't short circuit them. I cut it about halfway because I can use this plug again, perhaps for other RC crafts. So that, and this one, try to make sure I don't get too close and create any short circuits. Okay, now I'll take my stripper, stick one wire in at a time. I got to get a bare end to connect to. So there's one, and twist that in. Get this other one. Part you want to do carefully so you don't get anything short-circuited here. And take this light bulb, connect the black to the black, the red to the red. And you can see the light bulb lights up. Now what I'm going to do is put it down in this hole. And of course I want to keep these apart as much as I can so they don't short circuit out. Fill that in a bit. Set the light bulb in. Put the lid on. Now we'll let this sit for 24 hours. Meantime, I'm going to shift it around to the floor. So that's basically the extent of discharging that. I'll be right back in 24 hours, which will be like a few seconds for you. And we'll see that the battery is completely discharged and neutralized. I've decided to go an extra step in trying to protect this, and I'm going to use a piece of bicycle inner tube here. It's an old piece, to help give me some more insulation here on these alligator clips, because you notice that they're a bit exposed and they become dangerously close to making a contact, which would be not a good deal. So what I'll do is I'll slip this piece of inner tube over this, connect that to the positive, then I can slip this back over, and I'll give it protection, and then connect the other one in, and they'll be protected from making contact, as long as you don't let this slip around too much here. If you want, you can maybe put a piece of tape to hold this in place, or just be very careful how you set this into the sand. So another step to make this a bit safer. Okay, so I've taken this battery out of the pail, out of the sand, and the light bulb is out, no glow at all. And so I'll disconnect this, and as an extra measure, I'm going to test to see what kind of voltage I may get out of these two leads here, the positive and the negative here. And I got my multimeter here, which will measure that for me, see if I got anything there. So I got 0.06 volts, maybe about a half of a volt, I think, or no, not even that. far less than even half of a volt. That's showing me about 0.09, 0.10. That's pretty low, and that's just to make sure you can test that. Then you can touch these together, nothing happens, no sparks, no explosion. So we're good to go with that, where we can connect these together permanently, and this battery is now safe for disposal. That accomplishes that. Okay, I am ready to solder these two connectors together here and to neutralize them permanently from building up any residual energy. And what I'm going to do is solder it and put some tape around it, and I'll be done. So let's see, I get this. Put that in good so the connector stays connected strongly. And that's done. Put some tape on it. I'm safe to take it for disposal. Okay, so what we learned here was how to make this jig, so to speak, with an automotive light bulb and a couple of alligator clamps, so we can discharge a battery safely and for disposal, and how to safely dispose of that. So if you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, please give us a like and hit the thumbs up icon, and please share it with your family, friends, and fellow RC enthusiasts. Also, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss anything new. You never know what we're going to come up with next. And give us your comments. We would love to hear what you have to say and any suggestions that you have. We get a lot of great comments from our viewers and a lot of great tips that we can pass on to others. So please give us those. Thank you.